Welcome back. Final game on the menu here in the semi-final between LDLC and GamerLegion. It has been an absolute banger so far. We have got one of two outcomes coming your way. Either we're going to get a back-to-back finalist in the form of LDLC, or GamerLegion are going to follow in that Berlin International Gaming run from play-ins to finals to potentially champions.
And that was also the dream last split because they came from the play-ins. Now LDLC, they took the easy run in the spring split. They're like, fine, we went through the main stage. Now we want to go hard mode. We'll try the play-in stage. And so far, they looking like they could go for that back-to-back because they're looking extremely strong. When they play textbook, again, someone who can tear this completely apart would be a team like GamerLegion. And
GamerLegion did, in the last game, tear it apart. They made LDLC suffer. And really, that matchup that we need to laser focus on for this final game is TynX versus Rabble. When TynX is behind, it really does not feel like LDLC have got the legs to carry themselves through the game. When Rabble gets steamrolling, when Rabble gets those like ridiculous 15-minute stats that we know him for through this competition, GL are firing on all cylinders.
So it feels like with TynX's first blood percentages, he has almost like 80%. It feels like when he's able to get that first blood, you can tell that TynX is feeling it. He's gonna be all over the map, impacting every lane, trying to create opportunities. When you don't see Rabble, but he's ahead, you need to start being scared of what's gonna happen. And in all honesty, I feel like Nite has been a lot greater in the synergy together with his jungler than Vetheo has been, because we've been praising the LDLC mid laner so much, but still I'm yet to see that mid-jungle synergy between him and TynX. I'm dying to see it because Vetheo is just such an incredibly skilled player on anything you will give him, and I think he would complement TynX so well.
And I believe GamerLegion agree with you, because these bans are heavily weighted towards Vetheo in the mid lane. They're going to get rid of that Hecarim, which has been first pick worthy for LDLC throughout this competition on blue side. And LDLC are saying...
Deja vu?
Exactly, deja vu. You know, this Renekton worked through us. It gives Bando a strong lane. And GamerLegion think, well, actually, the Vel'Koz was big for us, and the Graves as well. Now, the question is over to TynX. What does he do here?
I just like the adaptation that GamerLegion are putting in here, because Hjarnan got heavily focused on the first picks and bans in our first game to the point where he had to end up playing the Nico. But TynX now has to think if he wants to be the carry for his team. With a Renekton locked in the top side, I would be very happy to see him play the Nidalee and sort of play towards that Bando paint train.
This is the LPL top lane jungle synergy. It is a difficult top lane matchup to navigate if you are phones, especially now that your Ornn has been taken away. And the Jhin, which I actually think for Exakick has been pretty successful. Even in their loss, it felt like Exakick was still performing well on that pick, and they are going to pick it up on their blue 3 rotation.
I mean, at some point, Exakick was like 3-0 and 3. He was really hurting the front line. I was honest when I said GamerLegion, if they didn't end it there on the TPs, they would have most likely lost every single fight from there and on, because Vetheo and Exakick were actually so big. Oh boy. Wow.
Do you know what we kind of mentioned in the first game that was lacking for GamerLegion, and something they brought in with the Ornn? It's that push button go, teamfight engage, and Malphite is the pure essence of ultimate engage, and they're going to give that over to phones. This, for me, is like the ingredients for success for GamerLegion. Phones on a dependable, engaging tank top, and then you have Rabble on a very dominant early jungler that can get massive leads, and the rest of the map can play around that.
You have to get rid of Orianna if you're LDLC here. It's going to be one of the easiest R presses if you play Orianna and you have your ball onto the Malphite. You mentioned it as well. It's seed champion, heat champion on Malphite with the R, and it's going to be extremely easy to find Vetheo on a champion that's extremely mobile.
It's the, I always call it the bronze combo. You know, it's like if you just want to make something work in like bronze elo and you're playing with your mate.
I used to play the old Karma together with Amumu, where if you blew the shield, it actually did AoE damage around the Amumu.
Yeah, that's pretty bronze as well.
Excuse you, I've never been in bronze, okay?
Hey, I have, no shame. Anyway, GamerLegion carrying on here, and it is going to be the Sett, potentially, the Sett Vel'Koz lane that we've seen quite a lot of for GamerLegion will be coming through, and that does mean that Nite is keeping his options open for a counter pick here on red side, or at least something that he would feel comfortable matching into Vetheo. Now, Vetheo has the option for the Orianna. The Syndra is still up and available, which would work quite well with that Nidalee. So plenty of things for LDLC to consider, and the Bard has not been banned this time around.
I don't think your problem would be necessarily Bard if you GamerLegion here, because you have more of a front-to-back team fight potential that the Bard cannot necessarily break too easy because you're not very squishy. But I really like that Vetheo is yoinking away Nite's Orianna, because it would have again been extremely strong together with the Graves and the Malphite, keeping your backline safe as well if you're LDLC. And now we're going on to a support pick. I wouldn't be surprised to see something more engaging, I was about to say, due to the Nautilus and Thresh already being banned out, but Leona works as well.
Works as well. Plenty of engage tools here for LDLC.
Ooh,
and that's Nite's Irelia. That is Nite's Irelia for the mid lane. I mean, GamerLegion they've got no chill when it comes to this final game, because there's a lot on the line for this team right now. If they were to win, they would set up a potential for an all-dark, all-Prime League final. Now, I'm almost certain that we've never had a final that has included two teams from the same region before. I'd have to double-check, but it's a big, big deal if they were to make that happen. And GamerLegion coming from the play-ins, what a run they would have to get to the finals all the way from those very early stages of the competition. With LDLC, as we said, back-to-back championships on the line. These two compositions then, Trouble, what do you make of them?
LDLC, again, are going with the front to back. This time, they're obviously going to focus in the top lane because they have the Nidalee and the Renekton. That's a very easy duo. But a Malphite is not necessarily very easy to take down. This guy is completely rock solid. And with the way that I've seen Phones manipulate his waves, I've been extremely impressed. He's been depriving Bando of a lot of CS. He's bringing him into hard situations. And Rabble on the Graves again. Can he make the difference? I love how you highlighted the two junglers, because these are going to make or break the game.
And this time TynX is on a jungler that is classically picked into Graves to match that farm potential and have that dueling potential versus him as well. Now, GamerLegion, they are keen to make a level 1 happen again. It worked for them previously. They are going to aggressively push into the red side jungle to at least get some vision as to where TynX could be starting.
And vice versa for LDLC. Basically, when you have two extremely aggressive junglers who want to typically be invading each other's jungle, let's say, at this point, TynX wants to find Rabble. Rabble doesn't want to be found by TynX. You need to have vision down. You need to know their steps. Rabble, I don't expect him to play as aggressively right now, unless Nite helps him to. So again, the mid-jungle synergy duo from GamerLegion is going to be the one dictating how this game is going to go for me. And on the other side, I'm looking for TynX to start from the bot side and go straight up top for potentially a dive.
Both wards will be cleared out here, so junglers will not have vision of each other when they're starting. Looks like it's a double, sort of a mirrored red side start for both sides. Rabble will be starting on his own red, and TynX will be getting the support of his bot lane and starting at his. Maybe working towards the top side for, you know, that classic early Renekton Nidalee gank, although TynX will just be going down towards the Crux.
And you see how Nidalee is a much faster jungler, if you will, than Graves. This is why in the charts, Nidalee at gold, at CS SOAR difference at 15, she's actually top 3 in EU Masters, so whatever jungler she's playing against, she's 95% the winner in CS at 15. Something that Rabble really excels at. Nite is taking the 1v1.
He is, he's going in here onto Vetheo. Taken down very low though. Those clockwork wind-up basic attacks do get a bit of damage returned. He's gone for the corrupting potion though, so he's looking for heavy sustain versus Vetheo here, but any opportunity that he can find to go in and look for an engage, he looks like he's going to try and make it happen.
The picks have gone down. TynX is looking for that mid lane gank. You see YellOwStaR moving in as well. Nite cannot be taking too many aggressive trades, especially now with more aggressive jungler on the side of LDLC. You need to have vision to play around.
They will spot out Rabble though. YellOwStaR did push aggressively, make that roam happen early on here.
Oh, I love this. Not this. The fact that what Bando did level 1, he pulled the wave into the bush and he created a freeze on his own side, meaning Phones is going to have to overextend if he wants to get that juicy CS that's accumulating on the side of Bando. I sort of criticized him for his wave management in game number 2. Game number 3, it works much better because you see now that TynX is on the top side of the map and now Bando is pushing his wave in.
Yeah, Bando wasn't able to freeze it for long there, didn't quite make it happen, and obviously TynX not in a position to be able to exploit an overextension. Phones should be easily enough able to pick this one up, but does have to back very early on in this laning phase. It looks like TynX will not get punished too heavily by Graves, and this is a good start for LDLC. Like, you really want this to be the case. It does look like Rabble is going for a invade, just going to get some wards on the respawn on the Krugs there. I'm wondering whether that is going to result in him stealing those Krugs if they were to respawn.
That is exactly the dive we're talking about. One stun into one spear.
Gonna set this up quite nicely here. TynX flashes forward. Bando forced to flash as well. But that's burning the flash very early. And another teleport coming through as well. TynX actually gonna take the tower aggro to begin with. Here comes Rabble also. Vetheo. This is a big, big push onto the top side of the map here for LDLC, and they didn't really get anything for it.
No, and Phone survives. That's a huge props to the GL top laner. Bando blows his flash. Phone survives on a 1 versus 3. TynX spent so much time up on the top side. Now Rabble can read exactly his move, and Nite had free farming reign in the mid lane. That is actually big props to the GamerLegion top laner for keeping 3 people busy while not going down.
And Vetheo actually lost out, I think, like 1.5 waves, 2 waves from that move towards the top lane, and so he's going to get punished a little bit here by Nite in that mid lane matchup. Phones was unable to keep that wave towards his own turret though, and so Bando shouldn't have to teleport back to lane, and actually I think will catch at least the experience for all of the minions that are now crushing into his tower.
Oh, bot lane?
Yeah, YellOwStaR jumps in. Actually, Visdom blocks out the snare coming from Exakick, but this is an aggressive play by the LDLC bot lane. Oh my word, they are going in on Hjarnan, and Exakick's taken low. He's just going to die.
Sett, baby.
First blood for Sett indeed, as you see. Now Visdom potentially going to drop down to Bando, who dives in. Be able to pick up a kill here. Bando's not done yet though. Phone's coming in as well. Bando doesn't have that ultimate available, and he will have to be careful as he's no flash. Bando taken low, will actually survive, and now YellOwStaR able to too. Nite looking for the stun here, has got that flash available, and the tower dive comes through. Nite will get the kill. GamerLegion come out on top.
This was the weirdest decision-making I've seen from both top laners in a while. They're both level 5. Both of their ultimates are extremely huge in a fight, and yet they push the button to come in. YellOwStaR sees the fight here because they have a whole wave hitting Hjarnan and Visdom. This is a great fight to take, but they forgot the champion called Sett. He's extremely broken, he's extremely strong, he's 1v2 in right here, takes down the ADC on his own, and this is where the teleports come in. Bando comes in. I think it actually catches Phones off guard, the fact that the fact that Bando TP'd level 5 is like, okay, I'll TP too. It was a little bit too late, another one ends up going down, and at the end of the day, Nite gets the first roam down bot lane, and they end up cashing in on another one, as well as a couple of plates.
I'm not really sure what Exakick thought he was going to achieve by stepping forward.
I don't know what Bando and Phones thought they were going to achieve.
No, but especially Exakick there when he tried to go for Hjarnan, like, did he think he was going to kill him? Like, he didn't have that many items. Still, that's a lot of summoners burn at the bottom side of the map here.
That's a lot of what is going on that went on in
a lot of what is going on. I completely agree with you, but it is a good start for GamerLegion right now. The kind of start that they would want. Bando now going to aggressively push into the red side jungle here. They are going to go for this red buff on respawn for the Graves, and I don't think Rabble's going to get here in time.
He actually has the level advantage. They just don't exactly know where they are. They could be doing the red buff, but they could also be sitting in that brush that Rabble really hesitantly walked into. So big respect from Rabble. He knows his strength. He's not overdoing it. This is how you know this is the last game between these two teams here. They're both playing so respectfully because one wrong move, you put TynX ahead or you put Rabble ahead, and you know the game's going to snowball.
But look at Nite. He's got a 20 CS lead
Talking
over
about
Vetheo.
Nite.
Yeah, exactly. 20 CS lead on Vetheo. And now Visdom looking for a Hex Flash gank into the mid lane. Nite's going to set up the stun. This could be it. Vetheo now has to be careful as the ultimate is there for Nite. He will get the kill. and he shouldn't end up dying to turret right now.
Flash?
TynX maybe looking for it, will force the flash out here, but will not be able to capitalize. And Vetheo gives another kill over tonight.
Whoa, that Irelia is going to be a pain in the bootay to deal with. The Orianna, I could see that he was possibly going for a Seeker's Arm Guard because he had the armor cloth purchased first, and then you see the mana crystal and you're like, do you want to go for a Seeker's Arm Guard? Do you want to go straight for the T? He doesn't necessarily know. He has way too many components that none of them necessarily help him too much versus the Nite Rabble combo with the two ADs. Ends up going down again. Visdom though, I just really want to focus because we haven't talked too much about the support. Sure, YellOwStaR is the initiator for a lot of the fights for LDLC, but I feel like Visdom has been all over the map all 3 games of this series.
Yeah, he's been excellent in his roams. I completely agree, but I also want to shine the light on Nite. Like, we talk a little bit about who was important for GamerLegion, and we talked a lot about Hjarnan being the linchpin for this team with the flexibility that he opens up these AD picks in the mid lane. But Nite has been excellent pretty much all series long. Just in terms of his performance alone, going to be a hoedown around the Rift Herald right now as TynX goes aggressively into this objective. Now Nite looking for the engage. Bando going to be the target. He will go down to Phones, who uses his own ultimate in response. And GamerLegion dictating the pace of the early game once more.
Yeah, rock solid dude in the top lane, grabs 1 kill as well. GamerLegion knew they could take this fight because they were seeing Exakick all the way down the bot lane, no teleport available to him. He was, although, free farming this whole time. They're looking for another fight.
Yeah, YellOwStaR jumps in here. He's got a level disadvantage on Visdom, but will be very quick to back out of that engage.
Yeah, he saw the level 7 Graves, he's like, nah. Not right, that's not it.
Falling a little bit behind here, YellOwStaR. And this is, again, this is kind of the territory that GamerLegion likes to be in, ahead in the early game. And if they can continue to maintain this lead, it can be very difficult to deal with them. What do LDLC need to do? The biggest gap for me is obviously that mid lane right now. It's a 30 CS disadvantage for an Orianna into an Irelia. That is, what, borderline 1,200 gold in favor of Nite right now?
You're just gonna have to try to either figure out how you're gonna shut down Irelia, probably bring YellOwStaR in the mid lane together with TynX. I think what they're waiting for is that level 6 for YellOwStaR to kick in, and then they're gonna roam him together in the mid lane, potentially try to get a pick onto Nite, get the shutdown gold as well, because he's extremely close to his Blade of the Rigging too, and he's gonna hurt when he hits that power spike. Other than that, I would possibly like to see the swap with Bando. Put the Renekton versus the Irelia. I think he's gonna have a much better time. They're putting him there now, but I think it's just to sort of keep the wave going.
Yeah, Nite is very scary for GamerLegion. And, you know, they kicked out Nite's Irelia on the final game of the series where it means everything. Like, this is a do-or-die moment for both teams. The finals awaits you tomorrow of the European Masters Summer 2020, and it is all off the back of the result of this game.
Talking about Nite's Irelia, they're looking to feed him 1 more kill. Visdom at the exact same position he was before. Now he has the suplex as well.
Yeah, he has that ultimate, but Vetheo is going to play very defensively around his wave. Second dragon started up for GamerLegion. It could either be Infernal or Cloud Soul on the menu. TynX has not been able to abuse this 1-2 combo with the Renekton and the Nidalee too much this game. They had a very, very botched dive that went wrong earlier on, and he hasn't been able to make his way back to the top lane that often either.
Waiting to see what... It's going to be a Cloud Drake, which actually favors GamerLegion in chasing these fights. They're going to put down the Ritual in the middle, and that means a lot more gold in the pockets of Nite and Rabble as well. And Phones, can he get out of that one?
And he's going to take it down very low. He has got that ultimate available to buy time. TynX forced it back out. It's so difficult to tower dive a Malphite with his ultimate, and they are going to give up the mid lane tier 1 here. Trouble is off to a great start for GamerLegion, and they are continuing as they push into the red side jungle, trying to catch out Exakick here as Nite is on the hunt. He's going to pop his ultimate, force the flash out from YellOwStaR. But LDLC are on the run from GamerLegion right now.
They're not stopping. GamerLegion are not stopping. This is how they won the second game. The previous one we just watched. It was about putting the foot down and never letting go. Because you know what they say? When you have the crocodile and you have your foot down in his mouth, if you let go slightly, he's just gonna bite that whole foot off and then he's gonna eat you alive. And LDLC, you give them an inch, they'll take the mile. GamerLegion need to put their foot down, never let go. They have what they need so far. Nite is fed, Rabble is ahead, Hjarnan is free farming down the bot lane, Phones has survived. That lane was not meant to survive with a Nidalee and a Renekton opposite him, and he has managed that. GamerLegion have everything they need to push for the victory, and LDLC have been put on the back foot where they have to farm. It's usually Vetheo that's pushing these boundaries, that's having these flashy KDAs. Here on the Orianna, he's really struggling against Nite's Irelia. He's stuck on a sickest arm guard and a tier. It's gonna be a while until this Orianna can produce a lot of damage.
And he's going into a Blade of the Ruined King and Negatron Cloak for
the
Nite
Sett?
right now. And he doesn't have the safety of his mid lane tier 1 to work with either. And yes, I think I very much believe it is going to be Wit's End. Nite is in power mode right now. And GamerLegion are just playing around that pressure that he's creating.
I love that, and they're gonna take all that pressure, like you mentioned, all the way down the bot lane. Exakick does not have his heal available. YellOwStaR doesn't have the flash, so they're trying to create pressure all over the map. They're trying to pull TynX away from phones, and they're succeeding in it.
Bando did manage to get that tier 1 on the top lane, but it doesn't really mean anything for Bando right
Just
now.
tickled him.
Exactly, he cannot actually trade effectively versus Phones right now. Phones just too tanky with the Bramble Vest and working towards that Sunfire Cape too. And now Nite has smelt an opportunity.
You can see the pings.
Exactly, he's coming up, he's trying to put pressure on this top lane. Bando, even with the Dominus, the ultimate is there for Phones. I don't think you escape this. You might not even need to use the ultimate. The stun comes through. Nite picks up the kill. Easy as you like. Another kill in the back pocket for the mid laner from GamerLegion.
3-0 and 2 for Nite. That Irelia is not going to slow down anytime soon. He's got the Tabbies as well. He's going to be free from the Renekton and the Jhin damage coming on later. The only good thing that I can see right now from LDLC is that every time Nite is not in lane, Vetheo can freely push through and try to get some farm for himself, which he very much needs. LDLC are looking for an opening here.
I think he's going to get away. Teleport's going to come through now. TynX actually being pulled back by Visdom.
That's one way to do it.
But in the meantime, look at Nite. Like, he is 4-1 right now with a Blade of the Ruined King and a Ninja Tab I finished up. And he is going for a split push pressure in the bot lane. That should be a tier 1 on the menu pretty soon.
So what's happening right here is we're expecting TynX to shadow Bando wherever he was, try to dive the Malphite or whoever it is he's playing through. But with so much pressure being put on Vetheo, Exakick and YellOwStaR, TynX has to play towards these lanes to make sure that they stay alive. And GamerLegion have done an excellent job at grabbing TynX's attention and not allowing Phones to die.
Nite is just so slippery on this Irelia, so difficult to lock down. Bando not even confident to do it with a 2-level disadvantage on this Renekton. How do you contain this Maestro in the mid lane for GamerLegion? The mad scientists of the Prime League are staring down a finals appearance in the European Masters Summer 2020.
He's ahead of every single member in experience from the set of LDLC. 5 levels difference with YellOwStaR. You want Leona to be your engager, but if you dive into Nite, he's just going to disintegrate you instantly. It's gonna be extremely hard from LDLC. They also have Nidalee. I find Nidalee one of the champions. I said a lot of times this is a 50-50 champion. That's only because if your early game doesn't go well, you're not a Skarner, you're not a Sett, you're not a tank, you're not gonna be able to recover as well. You're gonna become a heal bot. And you can see that slowly happening here for TynX. He hasn't necessarily been involved in anything, and we said if TynX doesn't get the first blood, it's looking kinda green for LDLC.
This is a spooky setup onto Nite here. He will not fall for the alcove play that Bando was setting up. The third dragon, the Soul Point dragon being started up. A level advantage for Rabble right now, and Nite is buying time. Phones has that engaged, that go button that they need to punish LDLC, but LDLC just not even able to step towards it right now. GamerLegion are in control of this game.
They're also Soul Point. LDLC are still trying to catch Nite. Nite is not falling for it. He saw all the members hovering around bot side, so he would have to be crazy to want to push that wave down bot lane with all these members waiting for him. The second they see them, they're going to probably pop Shirley here to take down this tower, potentially the next one as well. But that will give so much freedom on Rabble. Something that's really cool to notice about rotation is that Exakick knows this play is going on in the bot side, but he's not allowing Rabble for an invade. He has already cleared the whole top quadrant of his own jungler, so he doesn't allow the Rabble invade to take even more. That's extremely clever rotation-wise from the ADC of LDLC.
It definitely feels like Exakick is taking it upon himself right now to try and be that main driving force for his team's success. He is working towards his second item of the game right now, and we'll finish it with the rapid-fire cannon coming through. It is not like LDLC are miles behind. I think, you know, maybe we have oversold kind of where they are. Just in terms of gold disadvantage, we're only at a 2,000 gold discrepancy, and it's been that way for the majority of the game, to be honest with you.
Here's the problem. This is very similar to game number 1, right? Nite has all of the items on him, he has all of the kills on him. Nite has overstepped many times in that game number 1. He was punished many times. Now LDLC don't necessarily have the go button with the Skarner to punish it that hard in this game. Their engage is much more situational, while GamerLegion have a more hard engage and easier way to approach these team fights. LDLC don't have that, which is why you see them playing a little bit more laid back until they can have the items to try and punish.
And Rabble starting to power ahead of TynX, even on this Nidalee into Graves matchup. He has a 2-level advantage. The Sanguine Blade has just been picked up as well. Honestly, Rabble just in the driving seat in this jungle matchup once more. And on TynX, like when he's not on form, when he's not really being that jungler that dictates the pace of the game, LDLC are just not the same team. And you can see it in these last 2 games. Once you get a handle on TynX, the rest of the team don't quite run at the same pace.
They kind of seem lost to me. I don't see YellOwStaR trying to make a lot of things on the map. I haven't seen TynX necessarily too much. It felt like they tried one dive onto Phones. It was extremely late because she was level 6. The first one didn't work out either. They brought 3 members up. And now LDLC have kind of lost their sense for this game. They don't necessarily know how to approach it.
You're going to get a charge in the mid lane here, but that's all they will get from the Rift Herald. It was just a desperation throw down by TynX. Didn't really have anywhere else to throw it. And now it looks like GamerLegion are working their way up towards the top lane to try and catch out both Vetheo and TynX. The engage comes through, Suplex is there. TynX now forced to flash away. The rest of LDLC are quick to respond. And that was a good defense from LDLC.
They might continue here because they call Visdom, but look at all this damage coming in from Rabble and Hjarnan. There's no teleport onto their Malphite yet, but they were able to very successfully burn the teleport from Bando, not die, get the push down bot lane, mid, and top. It's GamerLegion win, win, win all across the board.
Oh, Dominus has been popped here for Rabble's flash stun onto Rabble, and that is a lot of damage that he has to deal with, but Nite on a rampage, he's gonna pick up 2. TynX over the wall. GamerLegion, can you stop these monsters from the Prime League?
5-0-1. If you wonder why his Irelia was banned in multiple games in this EU Masters, this is why his Irelia was banned.
Lifeform disintegration rate goes under the map. It's that good. I think this is desperation from LDLC. I don't see a way that they actually contest this Baron.
TynX is alive.
He is. It would have to be a Smite Steal, but Phones is just buying time for them. They will not get into the pit. LDLC lose yet another Baron in this series.
5,000 gold in the lead right here, and GamerLegion find yet another opening. Visdom finds TynX, grabs his flash, and then they just kite back. The second they see the teleport coming in from Bando, it's like, it's fine. We pulled in the teleport, they have the numbers advantage, we can't fight. But look at all these damage coming in from Hjarnan, and Rabble pushes back LDLC completely. Meanwhile, Phones is having a fantastic time down the bot lane, taking down towers, while mid lane is pushing for GamerLegion, top lane is pushing for GamerLegion, and at the end of the day, they were fancying some kills as well. Rabble sees Bando, but he honestly instantly gets collapsed on, but there's no damage. Vetheo doesn't have items to put down any damage. If TynX doesn't hit spear, he can't dive into the Irelia and into the Sett. So all in all, GamerLegion grabbed 2 kills on top of a Baron.
And they're going to get the Soul uncontested as well. Cloud Soul secured, and it is looking likely that our Prime League representatives, and not the only Prime League representatives in the top 4 either, will be booking their place in the final of the European Masters Summer 2020, unless LDLC can do something quite spectacular. I'm not sure this is spectacular though, YellOwStaR. That was maybe not the angle you were looking for. He has to flash away to make sure he doesn't get caught out by Nite.
What can he do? He's 6 levels down on Nite. That Irelia is level 15. Vetheo on the other side is level 12. No one can kill Nite. And even if they do, there's so many more threats. Even the Malphite can dive in the backline and disintegrate someone. It's actually unplayable right now for LDLC. They'll have to find a pick on the side lane, potentially with 3 men, which means they're gonna lose something on the other side of the map. But all they can do right now when GamerLegion are bound up is just wait for this Baron to fall off. Oh, they're trying to catch Hjarnan.
Trying to catch Hjarnan on the top side of the fight. In the meantime, though, it is Nite versus Bando with the support of Visdom, but Hjarnan takes out YellOwStaR. GamerLegion absolutely on fire in these team fights, and they ain't done yet. Bones flashes in, the ultimate is there, the shockwave will only do so much. And Vetheo and Exakick are helpless as the rest of GamerLegion run amok in their base.
Nite has gone back, doesn't have the teleport, we can take a breath. The game doesn't end yet for GamerLegion here, but they've taken a massive step. You see that these multi-man shockwaves mean nothing from Vetheo. He doesn't have the gold, doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the items, and GamerLegion are literally playing with their food. You see that YellOwStaR is trying to create some situations for LDLC, but they just don't work because even the experience deficit is so huge between the champions that I honestly don't know what LDLC can do to come back. You see that Hjarnan is playing the typical bait in the middle lane. Look at me, I'm so juicy. Come and take this kill, but it's all a bait. He flashes the E from YellOwStaR, and then he ends up killing him as well for having the audacity to engage on top of him. On the other hand, Bando ends up dying as well, and it's just getting so grim. Even the support is fed from GamerLegion.
I mean, 3-level disadvantage for the Renekton here. The Dominus will only do so much. I mean, look at Nite right now. The stun comes through, the sustain is there. TynX unable to get in on this play. Now Vetheo and TynX are in a trap. It was a trap, boys. And Nite is going to chase him down for the triple. That is this game summed up trouble. That really is.
That is Nite's Irelia versus the world, and Exakick and YellOwStaR, the big carry from LDLC, the rookie that we were promised together with a veteran, are posed to defend versus a very angry GamerLegion, a GamerLegion that failed in Spring Split, but they're back for blood.
And they are doing the Prime League proud. Do you remember we talked about the strength of the LFL? They were the strongest region in the groups. They had all 3 seeds making it to the quarterfinals. Well, I tell you what, the Prime League has something to say about that. These guys are absolutely indomitable. GamerLegion taking 2 inhibitors, and it looks lost for LDLC.
They don't have to do anything else. They're taking the inhibitors that will create so much pressure in the base of LDLC. LDLC will have to defend. In 1.5 minutes, we have a Baron. In 2.5, we have an Elder Dragon. LDLC will be swamped with minions out of the base. GamerLegion don't even care about the Baron. They want to end this now.
And they can, at a click of a button. You know, they have that engage from phones. They have the follow-up from Knights. Rabble is just that much further ahead than his counterpart in the jungle. And the 3rd inhibitor laid open for GamerLegion, and they have absolutely devastated the base of LDLC.
Remember when we talked about textbook and how LDLC are playing textbook? GamerLegion don't like that stuff. They're very allergic to textbook. I feel like, yes, their compositions, they don't look textbook at all, but this is GamerLegion, this is the style, this is what makes them excel in this game. But I feel like their execution here has been textbook, because even though you haven't necessarily seen Rabble run around and take all of these kills like he did in game number 2, he's always been ahead. He's always known his limits. Where can he invade? Where can he not? Where should he disrespect? Where should he not? And he's come out ahead in that. Double agent 0, 0, and 7. He's been included in most kills for his team. We talked about this being a better jungler win scenario for this best of 3, and I feel like Rabble has proved to be the better jungle here.
I'm going to ignore that emote choice there, Nite, for obvious reasons. But we all saw it. We saw what you did. And
I'll just stay on the better jungler wins.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think TynX picked Nidalee to go toe-to-toe with Rabble, but he just wasn't able to. Like, Rabble just had the setup, they gave Nite the advantage. Vetheo was under his turret the entire game, there was no mid lane pressure, and we talked about the strength of the mid-jungle combo for LDLC. That mid-jungle combo has looked absent. It has looked like it hasn't existed here. And the final push, surely for GamerLegion, is winding up.
And I obviously don't want to give it to Vetheo. I think it's been Nite who's been absolutely monstrous on this Irelia. One last fight, LDLC, what have you got?
And it's a desperation defense. GamerLegion working with the minions that they have available as they engage onto Nite. They combo the CC, but Sett suplex buys time, and Nite able to escape. The Lifeform Disintegration Ray does its work, and GamerLegion have the minions to work with. The mad scientists from the Prime League take their penultimate step to go from play-ins to champions. What a performance from GamerLegion.
Oh, baby, I think this specific win also makes Happy a lot of fun, because the way that GamerLegion plays, you don't necessarily see it very often. You love seeing the Vel'Kozes, you love seeing the Gragas, you love seeing the Nico, you love seeing all this crazy stuff working out because they do make them work out. It wasn't LDLC being worse than GamerLegion in this best of 3. It was GamerLegion putting their foot down and showing what they can do with their own strength.
Yeah, and they absolutely abused that strength as well. I've got to say, you mentioned to me that this matchup between Rabble and TynX is going to be hugely influential. I did not think it would be that influential. Rabble absolutely made TynX look like he was never part of the game in those last 2 games. Now, that is it for us. The Prime League secure their first EU Masters Summer finalist, and after the break, we'll be joined by Nite. Stay tuned.
I'll show you magic.
When Leader may be able to close in on him, throws up the Hex Tech Hosepipe, flashes forward, and Leader, 1 versus 3, is able to find himself a kill. Goes invisible as he steals LeBron's ultimate, throws out another Chain Lash. Leader, he is not done right now. Looking for LeBron, jumps in, Chains come down, Leader gets another one. He's found himself a second kill as he's looking for the triple. Leader, 1 versus 3.
Still ready to go, though. Exakick, he's going. Still got a lot of HP as now Pretty Re goes in, looks for the taunt straight onto the Orianna as they'll get the kill. The triple kill there for Warden. He's still going as they're running down onto Deathless. Another big taunt, the quadra kill. They're going to give it to him surely, and it's a pentakill for Warden. That is a huge engage coming through. The first kill passing over to Punisher, and actually Smiley taken down. Maybe you are shark killers yourselves. Takui taken low. On the backside of the fight, though, you've still got Blue Resort. The triple kill, looking for the quadra as Bako chasing down to Kui. The quadra kill, get the penta. He's going for it. Another Graves pentakill in the European Masters.
Traps are being placed down by Exakick, and this will actually zone Gooby out for the moment as he takes a kick. They're just going to go for the insect back into the laser beam. First blood picked up Exakick, and now Vetheo jumps in with the distortion, gets the chains onto the Soraka. The knockout comes on into 2. Ezekas onto that. Jumps in. Here's a big ultimate coming in from the Lilia. They've been able to find themselves one. SMS just turned this around, and everyone on LDLC is falling to the wind.
Watch this.
They reset. Gooby is still just firing off these rockets. He's got a lot of damage. He's made it again. He flashes. Gooby gets 2. Gooby is still hungry.
For my next trick, I'll make their life bar disappear.
Zyko is getting close to the turret, and there we see the dive in. One of them does not hit. Zyko chooses to go back in, flashes forward. He's going big on Nite. Does he find the solar kill? He turns it around, and it is a beautiful kill from Zyko.
Just Wisdom helping them get away here, really. Look at the fight. The flash goes in.
Pop Blossom!
Get ready!
His corners, the Vanguard's edge is thrown down. That's 2 already for GamerLegion.
No one has yet to die, and Bando a little bit in no man's land and trying to jump straight up. 3-man taunt. He goes down, but what can the rest of LDLC do? It's a 1-for-1 trade, 1-for-2 trade, 2-for-2 trade, and it's all even. Stevens Madislaw is still here. He flashes. Ivo tries to get as much as he possibly can. This is the man we said would carry. He gets himself a triple kill. He's hunting for the quadra and a mountain soul to boot. Kick her back.
We are a unit of choice. We are a unit that's powerful. Nothing can stop the force.
Welcome back to EU Masters. We just saw Team GamerLegion take down the reigning champions, LDLC Olympic Leona, and we're joined by GL's mid laner, Nite. Congratulations at first on making it to the finals.
Thank you.
Nite, I think you must be very happy with your own performance.
Yeah, especially game 3, I guess. I think I could have done a lot of stuff better in game 1 and 2, but game 3 was a banger.
Yeah, game 1 was a pretty interesting one. It felt pretty one-sided, if I might say so. What actually changed in your mindsets? Like, what did you guys talk over when you got into game 2 and game 3?
Well, we decided we want to play really aggressive and go all out. And we also kind of entered our game, dropped in the first game, so that played a lot into it as well. But yeah, in general, we just want to play really aggressive in the last 2 games.
Yeah, and talking about draft, for me, in this 3rd game draft, when I saw Renekton, Nidalee, Jhin, and you locked in Malphite, I thought the draft was completely over. What did you think?
Yeah, like when Phone said we can pick Malphite here, I was like, I had such a dopamine release, like I was so happy. I knew the game is over.
Yeah, and even in the game, they were really trying to shut down the Malphite. They went for like a top dive, Vetheo TP'd in, and it looked like you TP'd mid as he TP'd top, but they couldn't dive him. So just looking at the game state, mid was kind of over from there, right?
Yeah, like his wave was in a horrible position. I think he lost like a full Ken wave and a normal wave. So, and like his wave was in a terrible spot. So it was really, really hard for him to play. I mean, I think after like they failed the top dive, it was kind of over. But I think even if the top dive would have worked, they would have been in a pretty bad position, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Malphite TPs back in, catches the wave.
Yeah, should a Malphite always be killed in this situation, or is like, did Phone just play this really well?
It's hard to say. I mean, shutting down the Malphite, you could do it, right? You could kill him, get first blood on the Renekton, but he's always going to TP back. He's always going to be really useful, and I think the Jhin, Nidalee, Renekton is just not enough to kill him in fights ever. So, yeah, Nite got really ahead from this. The TPs came in towards bot side from both top laners as well. It was generally a 1-for-1, but yeah, I think Nite MVP of the series, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Nite, that must feel good to be an MVP of the series.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I was kind of expecting Rabble to be MVP, I guess, but if Kadriel says so, I mean, I'll agree.
Well, I would have given it to Rabble, but game 1 was a little bit dirty, but it was fine. I think you were still popping off on Lucian.
A little bit. You phrased that really nice, actually. A little bit dirty. Yeah, Nite, the other semi-final that's coming up is going to be AG Rogue and your Prime League, well, I would say teammates in a certain way, like your neighbors, Mouse Sports. They're going to be there in there as well. How do you think that semi-final is going to go?
I think Rogue is actually a pretty strong team, but I think Mouse will win 2-1.
Mouse will win 2-1. I mean, if Mouse wins, we'll have a full DACH region final. That would be great, actually, I think, for the DACH region. Because there's something...
I mean, yeah, also we... Oh, sorry?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I also kind of want them to win, right? Because they kind of stomped us in playoffs, and I would like to take revenge. And they also have my old coach and ex-teammate Tolkien, so I would of course like to play against them again.
Sounds good. Nite, go enjoy the victory. Good luck with prepping for tomorrow. I guess you guys are going to watch the upcoming semi-final to see who's going to make it till tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, then thanks for the interview and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Man, he just sounds very happy. Like the way they changed their mindset, I think it was very important in there as well. Just seeing that his performance was as I saw throughout the entire series.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, for me, my MVP of the series, I think he was consistent all throughout 3 games. I think Rabble definitely smurfed it up in game 2 and 3, but the soft hint kind of gave it towards him. Yeah,
with that victory, Team GamerLegion are your first EU Masters Summer 2020 finalists. Up next is a clash between Ultraliga and Prime League. AG Rogue takes on Mouse Sports. Don't miss it, because Mouse Sports is looking for that revenge.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the EU Masters, where we pit the very best ERL teams against one another while showcasing up-and-coming European talent. 12 regions will compete to decide who will reign supreme over Europe, so be the first to scout and the first to cheer. Let's get right into it. EU Masters begins with the play-in group stage, where all regions will have at least one team represented, with a total of 16 teams divided into 4 groups. Here, each team will play against other teams in their group twice, with the top 2 seeds moving on to the play-in knockout stage. The winners here will move on to the group stage, where 12 teams have already pre-qualified. This group stage is where the teams will compete in a double round robin, with the top 2 teams advancing to the knockout stage. From September 15th to 16th, like before, top seeds will play against the second-seeded teams from other groups in a best-of-3, with winners moving on to the semi-finals. Here, the final 4 teams will play a best-of-3 and fight for their spot in the finals, where it'll be a best-of-5 to determine the next EU Masters champion. Each season, fresh talent explodes onto the Rift. The likes of Nemesis, Kazi, Selfmade and Humanoid all rose up through the EU Masters. But who will be this year's champion? Who will be the next breakout player to make it into the LEC? Join the ride, tag along, and witness history in the making. Bye for now.